Hi everyone, my name is Jamie and I'm a creative writing major that will be presenting the first two chapters of my thesis. My thesis, Katabasis, explores the intersection of personal, generational, and national trauma through the lens of a haunted house story. It follows the exploits of a girl named Jordan who was raised in a house that was believed to be haunted. When she was 10, an incident occurred that she can't not remember after, but it was enough to make her family leave the house. Now, she has been accepted to a college right near where she used to live, and she is curious whether or not the house was actually haunted or whether or not she was just imagining. Spoilers, it wasn't. Here are the first two chapters. Part 1, Actor, titled In the Beginning. First thing they bring are the stories. Gods and monsters, heroes and monsters, princesses lost in towers, monsters again. Once upon a time, in the beginning there was me. Windswept rocks, ocean spray, thick fur, strip of land, old city, solitary house, 4 children, me. But the stories, the settlers are full of them. That was a long time ago. Many humans have come and gone since then. There had been others before these settlers, the first people. They knew the land, they knew not to make their homes in life. Settlers were not so wise. They came with their stories and their tools, and they reshaped the land around them. They reshaped the land, and they reshaped it. In the beginning. Except there wasn't a beginning. There's me before the settlers, and me after. Me telling the story of what they did in my cliffs and forests, and me telling the children's story. I have always been, but I have not always been me. I don't know how to do this. Stories are pretty being paper. And you need something else. Understanding, maybe. I don't know. Where to begin, where to end. How to tell the story you need to tell. Kind of pieces fitting together, like cells of honeycomb with beautiful windows made of shards of colored glass. But you can't tell my story without first telling it. Jordan, Danny, Lucas. The story that I want to tell begins on a cold month. Part 2, the layers of reality. It is Halloween, and Jordan playlisting probably been about 7 years since she left Thornbrook Manor. She's not quite sure on the date. One more thing about that she doesn't remember. It was in fall. She remembers that. She remembers a corn maze, gold stalks and gold grass filled with shadows. Her parents stopping at a farm beside her, and the corn maze behind it, looming and close. Or maybe she's confusing that with another name. Been known. And here, back at Thornbrook, her godmother, Erin, had always said you can never truly leave Thornbrook. Maybe bring a handful of dirt from the garden or something if you want to try to leave, she'd said. Pretty sure that's how the story goes. You have to find some way to carry it with you. Otherwise you'll always be drawn back. From anyone else, it would have seemed superstitious, but there was a look in her eyes when she said it, like she'd seen something that couldn't be put into words. Jordan knows the look. And here she is now, back at Thornbrook. Well, close enough anyways. Erin had also said that Thornbrook was like a medieval church, built to be visible from anywhere in the city. It towers over her from where she was standing, here at the fringes of Katabasis University. Silence lies steadily over this part of the university, empty and encompassing. In the distance, there is some quiet sound. Sirens from downtown, the rattling of a train, soft punk of a duck diving into stream, with the sounds are part of the world that you are in. Jordan feels that this silence is particular to this part of the university, the part that lies in the shadow of Thorn. Carter House students called this part of the university the fringe, the in-between area where the stream divides the placid, manicured grass of the quad from the wild, moss-covered rocks of the other side. In the dark, the hill leading up to Thornbrook turns into a series of groves and silhouettes, and a road twisting and turning, and at the top. See, the thing about Halloween is bleak behind it, that reality is less stable than it seems. This is the night where the veils that divide the material realm and the realms of spirits grow thin. Sometimes they escape. And there's the idea of thin places. The distance between heaven and earth collapses, and one can glimpse the transcendence, something of that mysterium et tremendum variety. God knows what happens to thin places on Halloween. So, in conclusion, reality is a multi-layered thing. There are different kinds of truth. That was something Jordan understood on a visceral. 7 years after the night in the maze, after the official story, a young girl gets stuck overnight in the abandoned maze. Imagination is a scary thing in the dark. Girl probably shouldn't have been wandering around. And it was true. All of it was true. Forgive and value the truth. A very surface level truth. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees dark clouds drifting past the moon, the fullness of it shining over the mansion, ghostly light glinting off the gates. The iron tips of the fence, the shadows of the garden, and something rustles in the garden, the outline of a hat, sound of guitar music, sleek as a shriek, spinning round and around. The words both heard and heard, and in memory, ghost whispers. The outline of horns, and she called him the Patchwork Man. She called him the Patchwork Man, and her mother had said, "You need to stop imagining things," and it was grass. It was just had to. She checks her phone. There's a crack across the screen, and she hasn't been able to replace it yet, but she can just make out 9 p.m. Henry isn't here yet, which means he's probably at the red, too high to notice. She stands and places her book in her back, feels mirth in him. Exile or pilgrim, sent me once more pound that ground, for a British modernist lit time. She wasn't here on a musical scholarship. She probably would have gone for an English major. She's already worked her way through most of the book. Thornbrook had an impressive library. She'd spent her time there, in the small, out-of-the-way corners of the library. The red house is a few blocks down, close enough to the coast that you can just hear the ocean. The house was once a fancy Victorian, but is now old and falling apart, graffitied in places and bordered over in others. In some areas, the paint has chipped and was then painted over in green or yellow. It looked like something off a 60s acid dream. Not that she would know. She avoids those substances. Her brain messes with her enough. Like this. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees Paula crouching near the door. The white asshole has grown, no longer a pup. Either that or Jordan is imagining her older. Paula continually appearing and disappearing, waking from a nightmare to find ghostly silhouettes floating in her bed, butterflies manifesting when she played the piano. Yes, her brain did mess. It's taken her a long time to realize she would say. Longer to figure out how to control it. Illusions. That's what they were. You always carry Thorn. The house key is under the rug, which is a terribly typical place, but she could hear noises inside, giggling, moaning, and music. The term she uses is loosely, as it consists of something with a lot of drums and barely intelligible lyrics, and she's likely to get stuck in her head. The trouble with being a music major, she reflects, it ruins you for a lot of popular music. She takes a deep breath and feels the energy inside her throbbing at the beat of her heart. Sometimes it feels like the night itself would pulse her. She held the energy, then projected into a single illusion. You don't see. She steps inside, the ghost among the living, begins to make her way upstairs. The house is dark, barely lit with lava lamps and fairy lamps. It smells of cannabis and alcohol. Large black Greek letters take up most of the living room wall. Probably the name of the frat that owns it, but you can never keep the frat straight. They always fade into one homogeneous mess. She finds Henry on the top floor, doing lines off of the desk again. She drops the illusion as she pushes the door. He looks up as she enters and smiles, his smile wide and bright. Jay, he says, Jay, fancy seeing you here. Get you anything? I got something new today. He points towards a bag of capsules on the table, black as the beetle shell with the same reflection of color. Green, black, purple. If she squints, you can almost see the color swirling. She shakes her head. She probably needs more sleep. Her illusions tend to slip more when she's sleep deprived. Fog, whispers, shadow of blue, dark. Always think of such gorgeous. Yeah, she says. Yeah, you can get me something. green rectangle has Benjamin Franklin's face on it. Any of this ringing a bell? He sighs, long and filled with faux disappointment. Jay, straight to business. How trite. How boring. Come on, try a walk on the wild side. Time is money. A fact he was well aware of as he enjoyed wasting it, especially other people's time and money. I should stop fucking charging you every time, he says easily, slipping back into the accent of the Earl of Boston times. Not the softened accent of her mother's middle-class family. They would rather miss church than drop the old F-bomb in public. But the rougher accent of the kitchens she'd worked in when she went with her mother to visit her mother's family over the summer. An accent that dropped the word as naturally as breathing. Acquired, not born into. But that was the other thing about reality's instability. The rules. What was acceptable, how to talk, how to act, what brought you street cred, etc. It changed everywhere she went. At Thornbrook, she'd oscillated between girl with promise to there's something very wrong with that child. In Clifton, she'd been just another hopper problem child destined for early pregnancy. Now, at Carter House, she's back to promising child who has overcome so many obstacles. Different worlds, different rules. She's gotten pretty decent at navigating them, cultivating different faces for different places. Some rules she understood better than others. Like this. Henry can talk as much as he wants, but this is the world that she knows like the back of her hand, for better or for worse. Henry rolls it up. You know, if you're in such a rush, we could always do this on. People do that, you know. Besides, you're Asian. Filipino is Asian, right? Shouldn't you be good with computers? Jordan flips him off, an almost instinctual gesture. Beyond that and giving him the stink eye, she doesn't react. She's gotten far too used to careless Howie's. Also, she might not like Henry, but there's a business relationship, and he is incredibly predictable, a very good quality in a business partner. Online leaves a trace. Remind me how your business has survived the fall. Henry is something of a camp black mark. If you need something, drugs, fake IDs, the answers to tomorrow's test, Henry can either get it for you or find someone who can. That's where Jordan comes in. One thing she's good at, stories. Essays, papers, cover letters, they're all stories. It's like switching faces. You just need to understand the root. All she needs is a writing sample and she can hammer out a pretty convincing impression. Henry shrugs. Hasn't happened. Besides, what are they going to do? Expel me and send me to the loving arms of Harvard or something like that? Only you, Jay. You're paranoid. Maybe, maybe not. Besides, Henry's father is a lawyer who makes 6 figures a month. Despite the fact that Jordan grew up in Thornbrook, her family is not rich. Her father was the custodian for the Draven family, the actual owners of the village. They'd lived in the servants' quarters. Currently, her father works in the oil fields and spends more time harassing his daughter for money than paying for shit. She can't afford getting caught. After all, she doesn't spend her weekends forging papers for kicks. She tossed a folded stack of papers on the ground next to her, shared iconography and Botticelli's Venus and Our Lady of Guadalupe. She's rather proud of that one. It's both decently written and completely different than anything she'd written. He glances at it for a moment, then pulls out a stack of bills, hundreds. Oh, what must it be like to idly carry on that much money? From his pocket and hands them to her. She runs her thumb over the stack. Then, satisfied that's the right amount, puts half in the inside pocket of her coat, and the other half in the inside pocket of her bag. Always a pleasure. Same time, same place next week? He smiles up at her. Is it the view? He gestures to the window, the shadow of Thornbrook clearly visible through the worn pane. Her hands tighten on her backpack strap. She can feel her chest tightening, like someone has wrapped iron bands around her wrist. Tell me it isn't. Come on, Jay, you know we're all curious. Why ever did you leave? Did the ghost come and scare you away? Congratulations, you solved it, she deadpanned. It's a big peepee guard through the Dole, and the ghost came and scared us. Good times. He shakes his head at the explanation, then does another line off the desk. She leaves him to it. Outside, dark clouds, malleable as ink, covered the moon. The waves have grown louder, hungry, and quiet. All rivers run to the sea, but the sea is never full. She leans her head against the doorpost and breathes out, slow and aching. Another truth about that night. She doesn't actually know what happened. Oh, everyone is more than happy to tell her the story they want. There's nothing there, you're just an imaginative. A series of masks forced onto her, and she's so tense. It'd be easier if she remembered, if she had a narrative of her own contradicting. She doesn't. She doesn't know, and she doesn't know. So fucking sick of not knowing. Of knowing that anything could have happened that night, she wouldn't know. She didn't know. There's a term that she read about once. External means of verification. Finding something outside of memory to verify or disprove an event. Right now, Thornbrook seems like her best bet of doing that. She glances up, notices the way the light travels across the building, the slight movement in the shadows, the hint of guitar music. To see you in the middle of the night, you never get enough.